welcome to the Never Seen It podcast, the only podcast called Never Seen It that's worth listening to. And with us tonight, he's here. Ladies and gentlemen, he's always here most of the time. Mr. Arnie the One Man Party, a.k.a. Arnold Gallego. Mr. Daily Dares, a.k.a. Filipino Grigio, a.k.a. Alex Gallego, the Brothers Gallego. Mr. Donnie Appleseed, a.k.a. Donnie Guzman, the Cousins Gallego. And then there's me, Boots Too Big, a.k.a. Adrian De La Torre. And tonight, we are discussing, fresh off the presses, which I like, the 2025 Left-Handed Girl, directed by Shih-Ching Tsou, a familiar name. We recently talked about Takeout, which was co-directed with her and Sean Baker. Great little movie. And we watched Left-Handed Girl for this episode, and the story is about a mother and her two daughters, keep that in mind, who moved to Taipei to open a noodle stand at a vibrant night market. But family secrets and tradition test their fresh start. And that's basically the movie in a nutshell. I just watched this, and I know that, Alex, you chose this movie. You were at the San Diego Asian American Film Festival. Tell us right off the bat, why did you choose Left-Handed Girl?
For obvious reasons, San Diego Asian Film Festival. You want to help promote that festival, but also because it's just an amazing movie that I know you guys would have loved as well. And the fact that it has ties to one of our favorite directors, Sean Baker, who is a executive producer to the film. It is the solo directorial debut of Shih-Ching Tsou, who is a regular collaborator with Sean Baker. She obviously was a co-director of Takeout, one of our previous episodes. But it's one of those films that you're compelled to see just because of the ties, but also because I was so curious about what her solo debut would look like, and it did not disappoint. When I watched it in the theaters at the film festival, and I was fortunate enough to actually meet her in person at the end of the festival, and so
nice.
She did a Q&A after the film. It was the closing film for the festival, and it was just a lot of fun, and it was just a good movie to end the festival on, and so that's why I chose it.
You have some insights which we'll get into. First and foremost, this movie looks gorgeous. I loved the way it was shot. If you hadn't told me it was shot on an iPhone, I would have just assumed it was shot on a decent digital camera, which the iPhone is now a decent digital camera. This should inspire anybody who wants to be a filmmaker. Watch this movie. Seriously, yeah. I know, I'm sure they use professional grade gear for a lot of the glide camera shots and things like that, but the camera itself was an iPhone. I don't know what model. Do we know? Because
I believe it's the iPhone 6 right now. Or
no, that's old. That was Tangerine days, the iPhone 6. This must have been 15.
I think we're on 17 right now.
Oh, so this is probably the 16, I think.
16.
That's been out.
Okay, 16.
So I'm sorry. Yeah. It's iPhone 16.
Oh, you're good.
So I'm assuming that was an iPhone 16 because it was filmed last year.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And there was a discussion that I want to piece together the whole, at least the conversation that I was able to film post the Q&A after that took place, and they discuss the use of the iPhone and what they did. There's obviously you can't zoom, or at least not properly.
No, not real zoom. No.
Yeah, not real zoom. So I like the use of how they use the wide angles, but then the use of panning and the stationary shots to tell the story. But also, what they also did was they used professional grade cages and what do you call them?
Gimbals, probably.
Yeah, gimbals. There's
a lot of movement. There's a lot of great fluid movement throughout this movie. You can tell they probably used a decent gimbal or a decent glide cam system or whatever.
And like you mentioned before with the camera and the colors, and in a previous discussion that we had during the general chat,
right?
This is the opposite of what a lot of other films are doing these days. The colors are so vibrant. I mean, obviously they use muted tones to help tell the story of different emotions during the film. But overall, you look at Taipei, and that is just a vibrant, colorful city.
Yes, I was gonna say, it seems like you go anywhere outside the U.S. and especially, I would say in Asia, especially, cities tend to be brighter, more colorful. There's just a certain aesthetic, a certain vibe that you get that you just don't find here in the U.S. outside of like New York, Vegas, maybe LA. I don't know. I don't think LA is actually that bright, but I just really appreciated how, like, again, how we talk about a lot on this show, where like the city is a character as well, and Taipei really felt like a lived-in, location, and it has so much character, so much texture to it. But yeah, Arnold, really quick, what was your perception of this movie prior to having seen it, and what are your quick rapid-fire thoughts?
Well, Left-Handed Girl, went into it not knowing anything about it. I was thinking, oh, is this going to have some martial arts in it? Left-Handed Girl, and it was far from that.
Right.
Yeah, well, I did watch it last night, and my initial thought was like, oh, damn, subtitles again. But once again, just like in Takeout or other movies that we've done with subtitles, once you start getting into it a little bit, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. It was actually
not at all
really good.
I almost watched it with the English dub, but I was like, no. I feel like you get, even though you don't know the language, you hear the feeling and the emotion in the actors' voices in their native tongue. I don't think you can capture that as well with an English dub. So I turned the English dub off and I read it with subtitles, and like you said, it's not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
It's immersive enough that you forget you're reading subtitles, like
Yeah.
Parasite.
Yeah.
If you ever watched Parasite.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Adrian, because I was listening to an interview with Sean Baker, and he talks about like his contribution to the film as a co-writer and editor, right? Like where he's mainly looking for facial expressions, how they act, because he knows the script, but he can't understand. He left all the directing. He didn't touch any of the directing. He kind of let her do her own thing, and so that was really what he was basing it off of when he was editing and kind of looking at the script from that angle.
That's so interesting. I don't know how I would fare if I had to edit a film in a foreign language that I didn't know, but I appreciate that Sean Baker is like a multi-talented dude. Like what did he win a bunch of Oscars for? It wasn't just directing in Nora. He also did the editing and he did the writing, and he's like a producer. Like the dude is like killing it. He's killing it. So yeah, Donnie, since we're going around the room, what were your initial what are your rapid fire thoughts after having seen it? I'm assuming you watched this recently too, right? Like super recent.
Just yesterday, yeah. I
Nice.
didn't know what it was about either. I kind of went into it just without watching the previews or anything, and so
Same.
Yeah. But I was able to identify like the style pretty quickly, even though it wasn't Sean Baker's movie or directed by him. He was very much involved with the process, and so you could definitely see that. I liked it. I really liked it a lot. I didn't know where it was going. It kind of threw me off a few times. But it was a good movie, and it was well written. And again, like you had mentioned earlier, I really like how they utilized the city and made it like a character, like Taipei's nightlife, right, or night market. So yeah, really good. Yeah.
Aijing, I believe that's how you say her name, Aijing or Yijing, the little girl. She was great. Yijing.
Yeah.
Another character, another child actor who killed it. Like, she is so good. I don't know how old she was in this movie, like 12 or 10 or something. Do we know, Alex?
Can't remember.
Can't remember.
She's the left-handed girl.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
left-handed girl. Yeah.
Nina, right? Nina.
Nina Yi is her name.
Yeah.
Is the actress's name.
She seems even younger.
I should have
She has
rewatched all the interviews and the Q&A.
Yeah.
They talked about that.
She has to be like between 8 and 10, I think. Right?
She has more experience than the older sister kind of went into it, just being recruited off Instagram. She didn't even know if it was like a real recruitment.
Really? Is that how? That's so interesting.
But the little girl has exposure because she's been doing commercials.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. But her coach is her mom, and her mom knows how to like get her to react to certain things. Like if you want to make her cry, like she knows what to kind of coach her. Yeah. So she's like, you don't need a coach. I'm her mom. I can help you out with that. Whatever you need from her, we'll make it happen. And so,
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
the actor-
she's more experienced. Yeah.
Yeah, the actor that had the most experience was Johnny, the
boyfriend.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
He's actually he's
I like
actually
that guy too.
I guess like a well-known comedian and actor in Taipei.
I liked his role in the movie. He
Well, you
was
can
good.
kind of tell that he's like a pro.
Yeah,
The way he acts, the way he tries to bring levity to each situation. You have to be like good at comedy to be able to create that kind of aura, for
Especially with that Britney Spears microphone. Oh no, it came up this way.
I was thinking of the ShamWow guy.
Yeah,
You
he's
remember the
pretty
ShamWow guy?
He was on sponges.
Well, that ShamWow guy is kind of garbage these days.
I thought he was gonna be kind of like a dick in the beginning when he was like trying to like get at the mom, but he ended up being like such a good guy, you know?
Yeah.
Trying to
Same.
really, like,
Well, and so the movie is called Left-Handed Girl, and that's kind of the theme throughout, because they see the younger Yijing, they see her eating with her left hand, and I think it's her grandpa or somebody who says, "Why is she eating with her left hand? That's not good, and not in my house. That's the devil's work." And then because kids have such a wild imagination and they can take things so literally that she becomes a little bit of a kleptomaniac throughout the first part of the movie, where she's stealing things, and then she uses the excuse that, oh, it's the devil's hand that made me do it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was such a fun, unique little thing for her to do that still kind of ties into the rest of the story and stuff. I was like, that was really great. And but is that so? Do we know, like, is that really like a superstitious thing?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Even in Filipino culture, I'm sure you guys can.
Really?
Yeah, because I was kind of like they were because I'm left-handed.
Oh, you're
first
left-handed,
off.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and even my son, he's left-handed naturally. But
Oh, wow.
my parents said something about it, and I said, "There's nothing wrong with being left-handed." But because of the struggles I went through as a left-hander, like the scissors, for example, or writing on the board, the whiteboard, I made sure that Silas was able to write with his right hand. So he's ambidextrous actually, but he uses his right hand.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, our older brother Donnie is left-handed, but it's funny. Like I don't recall.
Can we get him on? Can we get him on the phone right now and get him on the show?
It's a Donnie thing.
We talk about him like almost every episode. Gotta get him on one day.
We got to bring on all the Donnies and Donalds.
You get Donald Miller on there too.
Yeah, get Donald Miller.
Only the best Donalds.
Exactly. Only the best Donalds for our audience.
Bro, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The worst Donalds could go straight to hell.
Yeah.
If your last name rhymes with Chump, you're not allowed.
Oh, sorry, you were saying your brother Donnie's left-handed?
Yeah, but it's funny. Like I don't remember us ever, like our parents ever looking down on him, or even our
No.
grandparents. They like
Because Dad was
kinda
left-handed too.
Yeah, our dad was
Wow.
left-handed, and I think it was also like we actually almost like were envious of the fact that because he was so good at
crazy.
like so many creative things. Like he was the first one to pick up playing guitar. He was really good at drawing, and he picked it up so naturally.
Guitar.
That was one of those things.
Yeah.
A lot of those things he like drew, and he could have, if he stuck with it, he could have been an amazing comic book artist. Like he
Yeah.
drew insanely well
Nice.
from the get-go.
You know, another famous person that's left-handed, Barack Obama. I'll let you guys know that.
That's right.
I didn't know that. I didn't know
I
that.
remember seeing
That's-
that
that's-
left-handed jump shot. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
So
my dad
deep.
telling me about like when he grew up and like they would smack his hand with a ruler. So he definitely
Really?
had a conversation with me, trying to make me right-handed.
So that's fascinating to me.
Was it
Yeah.
for the same reason? Like it was like
It
the
was just-
devil
it was
or
just,
satanic or
I don't want to say it's like satanic, but it was like
almost like bad
frowned
luck.
upon. It's frowned upon, like because like they think it's not like they don't think it's what do you call it? Not,
It wasn't
it's improper.
lucky.
It's
It
not
wasn't
lucky. It's
lucky.
not proper. It's just not what they did. Like they wanted you. Most people
Yeah.
use the right hand, so they want you to kind of conform to that, right?
I'm learning a lot about all the different facets of Asian culture from watching these movies and doing this show. Like, this has been a very interesting.
Hey, that's why we go to things like the San Diego Asian Film Festival. Like, it's funny. Like, I was thinking about it too. Like, a lot of the recurring themes are kind of like inherent in almost all Asian films.
Yeah.
At least they touch on him. Like
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, I'm glad you say that because I almost forgot. I wanted to talk about this. We talk about food a lot on this show too. That's always like a big thing we talk about. And I noticed in this movie how communal the food, like the dining experience is. Like you have what we would call here the lazy Susan, the little spinning table part. And it's like everybody's just grabbing their own pieces with the chopsticks and stuff. And I was like, you don't see that. You don't really see that in the U.S. outside of obviously like those kinds of restaurants. But I think it's fascinating that even just eating is such a communal. Is that how you say it? I'm probably saying it wrong. It's a communal experience that you just don't really
Communal.
I can't talk ever, but
Communal.
Yeah.
Communal.
Food brings everybody together, right?
Right,
It's
right.
definitely, yeah.
Just
It's
think
not. It's so
commune.
individualistic in the U.S., but in this movie, I just love the whole idea of like, you get your little, your own parts and
Yeah.
eat it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's common, right? Like I'm guessing.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you see that
It's
even in
continental.
restaurants here, right? Yeah, like when you go to Chinese, it's usually a la carte, right? And then you guys share.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of like Eastern cultures. You look at like Ethiopian, you look at Korean, you look
Middle
at Japanese, Middle Eastern, a lot of Asians. It's a lot about getting together, but you could even see it like Italian style, family style. Or you go to like a place like what do you call it?
Olive Garden.
Not no, oh no. What's that? What's that?
Only the breadsticks.
What's that like crazy place that has like the Pope's head?
The Pope's head.
Buca de Beppo.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
is a la carte. You're right.
Yeah,
that
they
is,
do a la carte. Like
Yeah.
even Italian. But Italians are like how we discussed are
And you hear
not
your family.
seen as white back in the day.
Right.
So they're more closer to like the way Asian cultures and stuff like that, and
Right.
East African stuff than European.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
family style, or even think of like at Universal Studios, Fast and the Furious, family style.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being Vin Diesel getting to get paid millions of dollars just to say that and appear in a movie every few years? That's great. Great.
Crazy.
Best
You know
job
what?
ever.
We should write a movie and then put away part of the budget to just have Vin Diesel saying like,
Yeah.
say that.
We should do Fast and Furious on here actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a single one of them.
You have
Single
not?
one of them.
Yeah,
Neither
I
have
have
I.
seen those.
Neither have I.
Really?
I just never had
I
interest.
might have to drop
Same.
that on my next time. My next
Well,
choice.
Now, Gone in 60
will.
Seconds. That I like.
I like that. I like that movie
good
too.
I haven't seen. I've never seen that.
Angelina Jolie, of course.
Yeah.
That's
You
the
know what?
only reason to watch that
Speaking
movie.
of cars, like what threw me off when I first watched it, I was like, "What? Wait, why are they on the right side of the road, like us, right?" But I guess that's there's only certain places like Japan, UK, Australia is on the other
Yeah.
side of the road, but they
Yeah.
match us like in the US. So that kind of threw me off because I was like, "Wait, the steering wheel's on the same side that we have it on," and it just threw me off in the very beginning. I didn't realize that they followed the same road rules.
Yeah. And I that comes from like knights and shit. Back in the day, I think they would have to be on with their swords or their javelins or whatever the fuck you call them.
Yeah. Speaking
is
of
about
road
nights.
rules, what about the MTV show Road Rules? Like, just kidding. I'm just trying to take us on a tangent.
No, but we talk about roads. We can connect it back to this movie. I mean, there's a lot of beautiful street scenes on the moped
yeah.
or whatever you call it. It has to be a moped, right? And just like the buildings and stuff and the lights sweeping behind them, like it was so beautifully shot. I can't get over how much I love the way this was shot. But there is a lot of family drama, as we mentioned earlier, and it bordered, or it sort of it kind of bordered the line of like a soap opera, but not like bad in a bad way. Like I say that a good way, because some of the arguments throughout the movie like were giving me sort of flashbacks to like just my own childhood and just hearing people argue all the time and yelling and oh, you did this and you did that, and it's like I was like, God, this movie is very relatable to me just for that aspect alone. Like, you grow up and because Hispanic people, believe me, we're always up in everybody's shit. Some of us may pretend, but everybody wants to know the chisme. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on?
Filipinos are the same. This
Yeah.
is very accurate. Like that drama that you see, that's accurate. Like that's real shit
Right.
in the culture. So there's a lot of generational trauma involved, and like keeping your mouth shut for the sake of looking good in front of your family. Like
Right.
there's all that shit is real.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Saving
Very
face.
accurate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
saving face
exactly.
is
Saving
very,
face.
that's a lot of my notes. About like. I remember, like, even to this day, you like see it in your own family, in our own families.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
just
yeah.
people don't talk about certain secrets because they're afraid of what people will think, and like I don't want to like outright say anything. Like Arnold and I know some stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Has like recently
Yeah.
gone on, and it's like
It's never ending.
yeah,
It's a continuous drama. It's a continuous real life soap opera.
yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I have a cousin that used to say, "Oh, I wish our life was a reality show." I'm like, "Well, no, you don't." But I get the sentiment of why you say that. But yeah,
There's a lot of good like, from Eastern culture, and then there's a lot of good from Western culture. It's finding a nice little medium.
right.
Yeah.
And this movie is also really funny. Like, don't get it wrong. Like, it's a family drama at its core, but there's so many. I love the scene with the grandma. She's like, what does she say? Like, how do you think I look? And she's like, oh, 63?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even 60 yet.
That was funny.
Oh, that was really
Yeah.
good. And
Yeah,
what
this
was
film has, like, a
was
lot
she
of
getting
really
ready
good-
for the birthday party? Is that what on there? What was she trying to do? I was a little confused about what she was trying to accomplish early on. The grandma.
Isn't that when she was like meeting with the guy for the passports and stuff for that shady shit that she was doing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
and
did
she was
one,
doing
and
some
then she was
crazy
gonna do the second
immigration
one.
stuff.
Yeah, she basically got lucky.
Oh, yeah, and that was the
Where
cool thing
was she
about.
trying to go?
I love how so she was trying to like help people get into America with these fake passports. So she was basically being kind of a mule
Yeah.
to like.
That's interesting.
I don't know how the process works. I've heard about like she looks like a certain person, and so like she would use a passport, and then I guess they would bring that passport to but they had those other people that would come with them. I'm not really sure how it worked. Maybe it's good that I don't
And
know.
just to give more context, Taipei is in Taiwan, right? And Taiwan, not to get too much into the politics of it, but it is a sovereign, semi-sovereign country that's trying to be completely on its own, independent from China, right? Mainland China, I believe. And just to give context on the family structure, because I was a little lost, I'll admit, and it plays a very important part at the very end of this movie. So you have the grandma. She has 2 daughters and a son, I believe. Or is it 3 daughters and a son?
3 daughters.
3 daughters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of those daughters is the daughter that opens the noodle stand with her daughter and granddaughter. And her daughter, who is, and I should have had this ready, Ian is how you would
Oh
say
yeah,
it.
that's the older sister.
Yuan Ma. Yeah, so she was a standout. She only has 2 acting credits, including this movie, by the way. So she was great.
Wait,
She-
Ian was the older sister.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
that is like very like she has like an attitude.
The one
Yeah.
that works
Okay,
at
he's great. Yeah.
the beetle nut hut.
The beetle that stand.
Which is interesting. I never heard of the beetle nut. Like I was
Right.
wondering,
Yeah.
because I know weed is
I
illegal
love the
there.
name.
Yeah, but
It's,
and I had to look it up, and like
Yeah.
it's like it's something that like I guess creates a kind of a euphoric state, and then like it also has like stimulant similarities to like
Yeah.
say tobacco, and then
bad
also,
for you.
Yeah, it's really bad, and then I guess it
Oh,
also
really?
like makes your teeth all red.
Red. Yeah.
It's
What?
gross.
So
Yes.
that's what they were selling at that little shop with the green lights and stuff. Okay.
Like it was illegal. Like it was a place that sold cigarettes.
I
but
think it's legal, but it's not like I think it's legal there, but it's not like it's
Like
not,
hard to get.
you can't get it outside
Well,
there, but it's like
they were saying about like something about a cop though. They're like, what if that person was a cop though?
yeah.
Okay,
I
she
thought it was
flashed
like
him.
a semi-prostitution.
Okay.
yeah,
thing.
she flashed them for $200.
Okay.
Oh.
So it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't explicitly a prostitution thing, but there was some shady semi-sexual
Yeah.
services that they kind
Well,
of offered. Or-
Beetle Nut stems from like the 60s, and basically the idea is like girls aren't provocative wear and they're attracting truck drivers. That's their main clientele, and they're
interesting.
selling that stuff that Alex is talking about that comes from like something called an areca nut, and basically it's like a mixture of like a stimulant, a tobacco. It's poisonous, it causes cancer. If you eat too much you can die like
Okay.
instantly. Yeah, so
Oh.
I completely missed that. Like I was reading everything. I somehow was not clear on what they did at that little shop with the guy that
she was just
hooks
getting
up with.
Yeah, I was like, she was just getting extra money, or I don't know if
Yeah.
she was getting paid for it, but she was definitely sleeping with the owner.
Yeah, she hooks up with him,
Yeah.
and then later on, his girlfriend shows up. How does she
wife.
find-
No, his
His
wife.
wife.
His
How
wife.
does she know? How does she know that they hooked up? I can't remember. And I just watched
Oh
it too.
yeah.
I think it had
think-
something to do with like the phone.
Yeah, I think it was the phone. Yeah.
Like they saw like some phone conversation, and then like she found out,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
but then
Okay.
at the same time she found out when she came over there. She told the wife that she's pregnant.
Yeah, that was
Right.
fun.
Yeah.
I love the way she did that too. She was like,
Yeah.
and by the way, he fucked me without a condom, and I'm pregnant. Bye. And she just
Bye. Bye, Felicia. It's funny.
She did not give a crap. She just like, there's multiple plot threads that we should talk about because I was wondering like how this was all going to culminate. So that's her plot thread. The little girl, her plot thread is like, you know, dealing with her thinking she has a devilish left hand and stuff and stealing from stores. You know, little things, not major things. And then you have their mom's subplot, which is paying for the noodle stand and coming up with the money to do so. And that's like her cross to bear, right?
Yeah. Well, not just that though. It was like also helping to pay for the ex-husband's like
Oh,
funeral.
that's right.
and
Yeah.
like the medical expenses, and then the
Yeah.
only thing they left, like he left them behind, was like the meerkat. Like,
Dude, the daughter was
Yeah, Gugu.
so mad at that. I think that was accurate though too. Like I could totally like feel what she was feeling, even
Yeah.
though it was the ex, right? Like I could see somebody doing. I could see myself doing that if something happened. You know, like
yeah,
I don't know.
It was
I think
very
it's really
abrupt because sorry, before I even say that the guy in the hospital, that wasn't the dad of the two girls, right? That was their mom's former boyfriend or husband or something.
that was the actual dad.
That was their dad.
That was
Eugene-
that was Ian.
and Ian.
Ian's
dad.
dad.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah.
Ian hates him, right?
Because like of what he did to.
Because he was
her mom.
abusive.
Yeah.
Right, to their mom. And then she goes to the hospital and she tells him like something like, I'm only here to tell you one thing, which is like we're not gonna pay. What was it?
I think it was just like basically like, I don't forgive you for like what you did to
what you
to
did.
Mom.
Yeah. Did she mention something about money? Maybe not. Maybe I'm making that up in my head. But
Yeah.
she was there to
Just give him
Dress
what
him
for.
down.
Give him what for.
Yeah, and then in the
Yeah.
very next scene, she's bitching to her mom about him again, and the mom's like, "Well, he's dead, so now I gotta fucking take care of the funeral.
Yeah.
So maybe you should stop giving me shit for a little bit or something like that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do we feel about that plot line with the mom? I feel like this was overall a good movie, but the plot line with the mom and the dead, like her dead husband or whatever, and then running the noodle shop. To me, it felt like relative to everything else was the weakest plot line. I mean, how did we feel about that specific
I
plot line?
feel like to be quite fair, it was a necessary plot point because because it felt convenient in a way, but in reality, if you think about it, especially in conjunction to the to Asian culture, there's a lot of loyalty goes into play. The reason why she's like, even though he was abusive to her, he like helped out the family. Like he gave money to one of the older sisters, to the other sisters.
Oh, I did not catch that.
Yeah, like
Well, to
he
each of
helped,
them.
yeah, he
like
helped them out, right? And I think it's just like one of those things where, like, I don't know the exact circumstances why they split, but just obviously it was the abuse. But I think, it also, I think the resentment too was like Ian resents her father because I think he split before, what we will later on discuss what happened,
Yeah.
You're
right. Yeah. That's fair. It all, everything culminates to Grandma's birthday bash. It's a very important. That's why these relationships are so important to remember, because everything comes
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! If you don't want to know,
but hold on,
leave.
Arnold. It's the 30-minute mark. I don't know if you had your exercise today. You know what? We're gonna lean into this. Every episode's good.
Thanks for the reminder.
Thanks for yeah, you got to burn some calories, do your calisthenics, and all that good stuff. I really, when you're doing that, I'll talk about this. I really liked the older younger sister dynamic between Ian and Yijing, because she was kind of mean to her, but like at the same time she also was like caring towards her.
Yeah, she was really loving, especially after they find out about the stolen stuff.
The stolen stuff.
Yeah.
But even when the meerkat, because the left-handed girl, so Yijing, she has this meerkat she inherited, right, from the dead dad, and she has a ball and she's playing with it and she's like tossing the ball and it's going to catch it, and she throws a little too hard, and it goes all over the balcony, and the meerkat goes after it. And you see her running up to the balcony, and I love this shot because it's like it's her, and then the camera pulls all the way out. She's like screaming at it, and then you're like, wait, are they going to show it happen? And then they cut to a news report. Apparently, in this city, when a meerkat falls on a guy in a motorcycle, it's enough to make the news. And they showed it like
the comedy in this movie is great.
It was great.
It's so good.
I loved it. And so that happens.
Because the guy didn't even die, right? He just like
no, he was like more embarrassed
No.
than anything.
came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That is pretty wild, though.
The meerkat died.
The meerkat. They even showed the blood splatter on the asphalt and stuff.
If that happened, there should have been a report when a bird on the same day pooped on the same ear twice within like hours apart. My left ear. I don't know if there's some sort of superstition for that.
I think it was
Let
a
us
slow
know.
news day in Taipei that day. Unless that's just the kind of stuff that's newsworthy all the time. I don't know,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry.
But Did that happen in the movie? I don't remember that happening. Unless are you making that up, or did that happen? The bird thing. I don't remember.
Oh, that happened to me. That happened to me. And so there should have been like a.
Hold on, this is a story time moment. You gotta tell us this now. What happened exactly?
And I was playing basketball, and then out of nowhere, I was like, "Why is my?" I thought it was like a big, huge sweat drop, but then I was like, "What the hell?" So
Why is it grainy?
I go and clean it off. It's all like inside my ear and everything. And then go out and play again, and then I'll play basketball for hours, and then it happened again. And it's not like I was playing under a tree or anything. I was out in the open.
You were out in the open and a bird shit on you twice?
Yeah, just like in the middle, like just
The same bird.
It's probably the same bird. He probably almost hit it on the road or something. He's pissed
He's like,
off.
fuck this guy in particular.
So there should have been a news report about that, but then
I agree.
I'd have to tell them about it.
You have to call the news desk and be like, listen, get your camera crew out here right now, because I got some stories to tell.
There was no cameras that caught it live or anything. So that would have been a hard sell. That would have been like, we had some. There was a shooting that happened that
well, you know,
report about.
You were kind of alluding to this earlier. Maybe that's a form of good luck. Maybe getting shit on twice by a bird is some kind of good luck. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I'd love
That
to
is
know.
if they shit on your car, it's supposed to be good luck. So it might.
Really?
Be, yeah. That's Filipino superstition. So
That's so. I feel like we could do an entire episode on cultural superstitions, and
It's like rain on a wedding day.
I love that song. By the way, I love that song.
Yeah.
I don't care who you
I
are.
love Atlantis. That whole CD was good. Jagged Little Pill.
Man.
Great song, great music, but we don't get a copyright strike. So,
That meerkat was so cute, though.
Yeah, the meerkat. I wasn't sure if it was a meerkat or something else. I thought
Speaking
it was.
of,
Yeah.
Goo.
originally the meerkat was supposed to be a monkey,
Oh, that would have been
Interesting.
but
Huh.
because of laws in Taipei and everything, and transporting a monkey, they
I
just
also wonder how much harder it is to train a monkey than a meerkat.
Probably easier.
You think so? Yeah, because they're smarter animals,
Yeah.
aren't they? Yeah, that makes sense.
Are meerkats the ones that can fight off snakes?
Oh, I don't know.
Is Timon a meerkat? That's a
I think
meerkat,
so.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The Lion King. Yeah,
Yeah.
Timon and Pumbaa.
no. Those are you're thinking of mongoose.
Mongoose. Oh,
Mongoose,
okay,
yeah.
never mind.
I could see why. Yeah,
Oh.
that's what I was. I thought it was a mongoose before
Okay.
they even said meerkat in the movie.
Meerkat's dead.
And poor meerkat. Poor Goo. Was it Goo Goo? It was Goo
Yeah,
Goo.
goo goo.
Yeah, Goo Goo.
Rip Goo Goo. But yeah, let's sort of fast forward a little bit, because the last, I want to say 20 minutes, 25 minutes of this movie were like, I was not prepared for the ending and the way it ended. We're at the grandma's birthday bash, and it's in a restaurant.
That was bananas.
Yeah, there's multiple people. There's lots of people there. I thought it was just like going to be one table for the family, but no, there's multiple tables. Lots of family members and friends that are there, including the grandma. And everyone's kind of like doing their thing and talking and stuff.
Can I say one thing?
Go ahead. Yeah.
So there's a lot of triggering stuff that is going on there. There's like
Yeah, there.
there's like the son who's like kind of like stuck up,
Yeah.
and like he has money, and
Oh,
he's
what
like
do you do?
looks down on like the siblings who like
He
aren't.
like thanks his mom, but he brags at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. And then you see like when the mom and Johnny show up and like, oh, this is my boyfriend, and they ask him what he does, and he kind of like tries to lie about it, but then they find out he's just like
He's
a
like,
guy
I'm
who
in
looks for
trades.
stuff.
I
But then
trade.
like the grandfather is like looks down upon him. You could see on his face he's like, oh.
Yeah.
And it's like that kind of stuff like happens in Filipino culture too. You'll see it like people that they'll look down upon people who are just working class. They're not impressed by like the fact that like even though they themselves come from like working class, they probably were like dishwashers or worked in like the janitorial services, like people who are like somebody like me who like works as in the back of a house of a coffee shop. They would probably look down upon me because as it's not like a real career, working class, but like it's an honorable trade.
Honest
Like,
work is
people,
honest
like,
work.
If you're not like working in an office, you'd like
Yeah.
or like in like an industry where it's like you're like say tech or the
Right.
medical field, like you'd be looked like if you're not at least an RN,
Right.
you're frowned upon. It's like it's so messed up.
But Johnny's a hustler, though. You know, he works for it.
It doesn't matter.
He's out there.
Yeah.
I know.
You know what's funny? You mentioned that, Alex. It's like because like you said, like the parents themselves that look down on you may not be. They may be a part of that working class, but it's like anytime their kids succeed, their expectations or gets to that expectation that they want them to get to, it's like they transfer. They live through them almost, right? Well, my kid's in medical. Like, oh, but you were a dishwasher.
I was re-listening to the episode about for Takeout, and Arnold brings up a good point. Like he was like, yeah, like our older brother Donnie. He's like this tech guy. He's like a computer science. He's pretty high up these days. Arnold was saying, "Well, I'm gonna like if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it like the other way. I'm gonna do it without a degree."
I remember that. Yeah,
and it's like that's kind of like same with me. It's like, well, I'm gonna do it on my own terms, you know,
right?
And I'm gonna define my own success. You know, success for me is different, and I don't care what anybody else thinks, but. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I wanted them to accept me for the kind of success I would achieve, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. You know, you guys are 3 brothers, right? You guys grew up 3 brothers in the same household.
Yep.
You know, I have 2 sisters and stuff. But, like, no one sibling grows up in the same household. Like, the 3 of you all have your own individual experiences that... It doesn't matter that you grew up with the same parents in the same household. Like, you guys are each your own individual selves and all that. So, yeah. It's... You see it in Hispanic culture too, where it's like, you parents, they may not say it, but you kind of feel like maybe they're thinking it, where they're comparing their kids to each other, and it's like, why do that? Like, what do you achieve by doing that? You know what I mean? I don't know.
They can't help it. They can't help it.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, you know what? I just have the one, so I don't want to worry about it. But you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's such an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
And where was I going with this? Yeah.
Oh no,
it's an interesting.
You got me thinking about like, you know, how we all lived in different households. Like, I mean, the three of us, 3 of my brothers, all 3 of us. Like when Donnie, when he was the oldest and was the only one, that was that. Then Alex came along, and then it was them 2, and then there was me.
I was the baby for like 5 years.
Oh, Alex, you're the middle child, huh?
Yeah, I was the baby
That's
for
like
5 years until Arnold arrived.
Yeah,
like all different stages, and then Donnie left for college, and then it was just me and Alex.
Yeah.
And then it was that for a little while. Then later, Alex ended up getting married, and then it was just me and my mom.
Right.
And then also somewhere like while it was just me and Alex, my dad, he ended up transferring to a job in San Diego. So then it was he came down like on his days off, but then for the most part it was just me and my the only parent there was my mom.
Right.
And so
you got to experience the different stages of all this from top to bottom,
just,
in a way.
Just thinking about it, it got me kind of like emotional. Like
it's so interesting, though, isn't it? Because like we carry a lot of that. I think what Donnie mentioned earlier, generational trauma, right? And whether we know it or not, and you see that a lot in this movie, and I think they did it really well. As far as like you see how the grandma is like, this is supposed to be her night, and like it quickly starts to unravel and gets ruined by the trauma that her daughter has when the girlfriend of the guy that I really should remember her name, Ian's former boss, comes to her crashes the party basically, and the girlfriend's there, and she confronts Ian and about sleeping with her husband, and that's when I was like, where is this all going? Like I was not expecting this to happen, and I felt, and I don't know about you guys, but I felt this like secondhand embarrassment, and I was cringing the whole time. Oh my God,
that's embarrassing.
I was like, everybody's watching and listening.
Can they be like, come here, can I talk to you? I need to talk to you outside.
That's what I was saying in my head. Like, go over there, go outside.
They tried to, but Ian didn't want to go. She didn't want to go outside. She was just like, get the fuck out of here.
She didn't want to go outside, but nor did like the wife want to like take it outside. Like
no, she wanted everybody to.
She took that shit personal for sure.
She wanted it to be like visible. But you know what was what I thought was such a clever and way to kind of like slightly foreshadow and reveal like what was about to come about was like after like it all happened, and then they say, you're like, are you pregnant? And, like, and then she goes, the mom was asking that, and then she wouldn't say. It's like I thought we were done with this, or like this is you haven't.
Ian says that to her mom, right?
No. The mom says that to Ian.
Okay.
She goes like this again. this again.
I missed that.
Yeah.
This
You're right.
again. I was like,
And
what do
that's
you
very
mean this
important, yeah.
again?
Yeah.
Because I thought this was going to be the worst of it. I thought, okay, after this chick and her stupid husband leave, that's it. It might be a little awkward, but we'll recover. And then what happens next? I'll let you tell the next part, because this is a great moment.
You want me to tell it?
Yeah, it's a great... Ian's getting a little drunk.
Yeah, Ian's sitting at the kids' table.
Oh, that's right.
Chugging away on some wine, some red wine.
Yeah,
it was red wine.
Red wine.
And so, like, you know, like Johnny tries to bring back some levity to the room and everything like that, and brings back the cake. He's like, "Hey, beautiful peach, good luck. You know, this is like look at this beautiful peach, like on the cake, right?" But Johnny's bringing pushing the cake to like, "Hey, let's sing happy birthday," and everybody's like singing happy birthday, and then
the crowd goes mild, by the way.
Yeah, the crowd goes mild for this moment, and then all the daughters start saying stuff, and the son says some stuff, and then Ian goes up there. I have something to say brings up Yijing with her, and then starts saying some stuff, and then tells Yijing to say something. She says, "Happy birthday, great grandmother." And then, like, great grandmother. Then the grandmother's like, "No, I'm your grandmother. You messed up." He's like, and then Ian says, "Say it again."
Say it again.
And then Yijing says it again. And then he's like, "What are you talking about?" And then he's like, then the whole like things just like falls out from underneath them, and like the mom is like has to admit to it and everything. And that's when you realize, like, you know, what she was talking about. This is what happened again. And that's the whole important part of like the motel party. Remember the motel party that they go to?
Oh yeah.
It reveals like what happened, like why she disappeared from. It kind of foreshadows like you don't really understand why she disappeared from high school. The old schoolmate was like,
Ian disappeared from high school.
Yeah, why? Like, we didn't know what happened to you. We all like were wondering. She was quiet about it. She didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And then it also kind of reveals why Ian, while she has these resentments towards her mom, because she has to act like she's not the mom. She has to act like the sister. She has to act
like she's not Yijing's mom.
Yeah. So she has to pretend she's... But like that moment when she's like taking Yijing to return all the stuff that she stole.
Oh,
you
right,
see,
yeah.
you realize like looking back, you're like,
it recontextualizes their whole dynamic
completely, and you're like, wow, it makes way more sense as to why this is such a touching moment. It's not just a sister moment, it's like the mom and daughter situation. The mom teaching the daughter right from wrong, and also standing up to the grandfather, right? Because like she went to the grandfather's like, you dumbass, like tell her this is like, there's no such thing as an evil, like a devil hand, like it's not right. There's nothing like, you know. And then you like also what kind of justifies why it's not a devil hand is because it helps save the grandmother from getting arrested. You know, the left hand stealing the envelope full of passports is what saved the grandmother from like going to jail.
It was an angel hand. That was another
funny scene, by the way, when Yijing was trying to pawn those off. The guy behind the counter was like,
it was such a sweet moment, but like also like, you know what I mean? Like she's like trying to help the
family, the mom,
who we now know is the grandmother.
From losing her noodle shop. So just to be clear, Yijing doesn't know that she's her mom, that Ian is her mom up until the very end, right?
Exactly.
Just to be clear. Okay.
Exactly.
And
man, I didn't really like. I got that, but then I didn't really process like also then like her whole life she was the mom, had to pretend to be the mom, and Yijing had to pretend to be. I hadn't really processed that. Ian had to pretend to be the sister, and like,
and that's why there was so much resentment towards each other, you know.
And it always made me wonder. Like I was like, when I'm like, man, the sister, she's just dropping her off in the middle of the night market, and like, you know, just believes that Yijing's gonna make it all the way to the.
Well, to be fair, like in Asian countries, this is pretty common. Like a lot of like kids will just roam around, like, and they're fine.
Yeah.
Like you go to Japan. In Japan, they'll like send their kids to do errands and pick up like groceries. On their own.
You see that show? Yeah.
That's how it is in Mexico. At least when I was a kid and I visited, would see little kids walking around like the streets just by themselves, just like whatever. Like you said, running errands, buying stuff from the store to bring home or whatever. Yeah,
It's not like America.
No, you can't do that here.
You're gonna go down the street, but hold on. Let me stop what I'm doing, and
Yeah.
I'll go.
I
with
mean,
you.
when we were younger, we did it.
Oh yeah.
But even then,
Different time.
That was a different time.
yeah,
Yeah.
but even there was still that fear. You know,
But
like
in
stranger
Asia, like
danger.
the night market scene, it's more like everybody is like they work together. So it's almost like that's their aunt and uncle, like they're watching over all
if
the
you notice
kids.
that that's how they refer
Yeah.
to each other, as like
Yeah.
auntie, uncle.
Yeah. Plus,
Yeah.
Yijing seems like a very precocious child, very confident child.
Yeah.
Still a child at heart, obviously, but she's seems like she's smarter than what you would think, you know, and very I don't know, yeah, like the confidence to go into a pawn shop that's stolen passports. That was great. But yeah, what a bombshell there at the end. And by the way, I don't know if you guys know this, like, did you guys know Jack Nicholson grew up a very similar situation? He thought his mom was his sister and his grandmother was his mom or something like that.
I didn't know
He
that.
was raised, yeah. So Jack Nicholson's mom, he was told for the first part of his life that she was his sister, older sister, but it was actually his mom, and his grandma, the woman he thought it was his mom was actually his grandma. So I don't know the context there.
Wow.
But yeah, it's one of those things, you know. So that maybe this movie reminded me of that weird random fact. But yeah.
Have you guys ever been in a scenario like, you know, at the party where it's just like a bombshell and just like something crazy like
Not
that
on this
happens?
level.
I mean, I feel like I've been to this party. Like I feel like I was there. Like I've seen situations get out of hand at parties like that, family wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when there's booze involved, right? People will say some shit.
It's usually the scenarios I'm thinking in my head always both 3 times had booze involved.
Right. And yeah, there was certainly booze involved in this scene, and Ian just let it all spill out. And that, I'll be honest, that was a really emotional moment. Like, I was watching that, I was like, wow. Like, that made me react in some kind of way. And I was like, I was not expecting that tonight. This was not on my 2025 bingo card. And what happens immediately after that? I'm actually not remembering what happens right after that.
So it just kind of like, part of it was like, so the Ian's former boss now gives money to Johnny.
Where does that
Oh,
go, by
right.
the way? You never see
Yeah.
what he does with it.
You never see what happens with it.
It was a fat stack of money.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to go to Ian, but like Ian lost the baby, you know. So that's like one of those things where it's kind of like, well, they're just using the money to like help pay back things, and they probably, you know, it's just one of those things where they do this sort of happy ending thing, but you understand that it really isn't a happy ending, because she goes, when Ian passes by Johnny's stall, she's all smiles and everything, but Johnny goes, you're in a good mood, and she goes, not really. You know, and that's the reality of it. She's like, yeah, I mean, you smile through the pain in those situations, but you have to move forward, and like the reality of the situation is at least that the weight of her having to hide that secret is such a relief. And I think, you know, if you think about it, like, she's smiling because that she doesn't have that burden anymore.
100%.
But she still has the reality of having to take care of, you know, Yijing now that it's the reality that she's the mom, you know.
Right.
But they still have to build this new life in Taipei.
Yeah.
Where did their mom come up with the money to save the noodles shop, though? Because
From the grandmother, remember?
She basically gave it to them after the kid returns the passports and stuff.
it was like in a red. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was a little confused. I don't know why I was confused about that part, but yeah, it all ties up in the end nicely.
And you know what I'm thinking? They probably used that money that Ian got from her ex-boss to like pay back the grandmother.
Yeah. And probably for future rent too, to kind of get him stable.
Yeah, and because
was-
as you said, you know, it's kind of like a happy ending, but like you just get the feeling that like once the truth was out there and, you know, the reality of it all, it's like, you know, and at least for me, weight is off your shoulders, in a sense, and then you can go on living your life, and whatever you're doing, you see them like when they serve the food, they do it, you know, with a better attitude, and they seem in a better mood and everything, and that's just like kind of like what happens if you don't have things that you're like hiding in the back, and then you can't operate.
You're in a better mindset. It definitely helped strengthen their family, you know, the current situation.
The truth shall set you free, as they say. Did you notice in that last scene, the lighting was very warm and bright, and like it felt like a brand new day. Like it was so perfect, you know. And then it ends with the kaleidoscope shot and credits and stuff, and I thought that was really cool. But that's the movie. That's Left-Handed Girl. What other insights can you talk to us about, Alex? Because I know you said you were at the Q&A at the San Diego Asian American Film Festival. Are there any other insights that you can share before we start to wrap it up?
Like I said, I wish I had rewatched the Q&As that I filmed. So one of the insights that I can now remember is that they started writing Left-Handed Girl before they started filming Takeout. So
really?
This film has been in the making for 20 years.
That's funny.
Wow.
And to think about it, like you know, I don't know the dynamic. Maybe like it was like one of those things of like Shih-Ching Tsou probably just felt, you know, like she wanted this to be her. I would assume that she wanted this to be her solo debut, and so like.
And what a debut!
Yeah.
What a debut!
Yeah.
My goodness.
Honestly, it's like, if you think about it too, it's like a lot of lessons learned through the processes of like working with Sean Baker. If you think about it, right? Yeah. She saw like if you think about the way Takeout was filmed, right? It was just a crew of them two, and then the cast, and then you transfer that sort of knowledge to future projects, going from I don't know but then now you see like you go from Takeout to Honora, and I'm sure every step of the way Shih-Ching Tsou is like there by Sean Baker's side, seeing the struggles that he had to deal with. So she kind of almost benefited from the secondhand education, to be able to have such an amazing solo debut, to the point where like this film is actually Taipei's nominee for the Oscars for Best International Film.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So they're sending Left-Handed Girl to the Oscars to like be one of the contenders.
I think that's a great pick. If you're a filmmaker, you should be inspired by this movie. I mean, seriously, like
100%.
that's the film student in me is like, man, like if you want to be a filmmaker right now, watch movies like this and notice how it's always the smaller movies by lesser known artists that like stand out the most, you know. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't enjoy mainstream shit. Obviously you should, but you know what I mean. Like if you want to learn that the sky's the limit, right? Because Takeout was shot, like you said, with 2 people plus the actors in New York City with a cheap mini DV camera.
What was the budget for that too?
It was nothing.
Yeah,
it was like $5,000 or something.
It was a string and a piece of cheese. You know what I mean? Like,
I think this ended up being like a crew of 6 total. I believe she said.
But it's just still tiny, right?
Yeah, it's tiny. Yeah,
tiny.
And because of like the constraints they had trying to shoot in a night market. Like when people knew they were shooting, they weren't responding normal. Like they'd stop and watch them, and so they had to show up in like normal clothes and like do it with iPhones. I don't know. It made for a good movie though.
Yeah, they filmed it. They filmed everything like as
if it was real,
best as possible. They
That's
did
interesting.
Kind of tight
run and
angles,
gun. Yeah,
you know, the tight angles, so that way, like if there were people who like kind of like were looking at the camera, they caught them off camera. Yeah, they were never really on. There were a few moments where you kind of noticed like where like people kind of like move out of the way. But
I didn't catch that. That's interesting.
They're you could barely notice them.
Do we know the budget at all?
I don't know the budget.
No.
But Shih-Ching mentioned.
All he's got to do is
he could do that.
exercise. Go on with your bad stuff on him.
Shih-Ching mentioned that like while they were shooting, like there was actually a few people that stopped by and tried to buy noodles from the noodle shop, like not realizing they were actors. So I thought that was kind of cool.
That kind of reminds me of like Clerks and everything too. Like Clerks. They had people stop by. Like actually during the filming of Clerks 3,
Clerks,
They
right?
had
It's
they had
on
like
my-
people like try to stop by and like buy stuff.
Did you guys see
Oh,
that
go
her
ahead.
shirt said? I just noticed that, or noticed when I was watching her shirt said 6'7". I don't know if that was a
yes,
reference to. I was like,
Thank
wait,
you.
because this shirt,
Yeah,
this
the
is
little
an old.
girls.
This, yeah, she has a shirt that says 6'7". So I was like, wait a minute. This shit, how new is this? Like, but it's not. You know?
I know, right?
Yeah.
How fitting
And
for
twice
this
she
time.
wore that twice in the movie. I
Uh-huh.
noticed.
Yeah.
The worldwide box office was $240,000, which I bet you it didn't even cost that much to make this movie. So not bad.
No.
I don't think this movie cost $1 million. Honestly, I mean maybe, but I don't know.
I don't think so. They're using pure natural lighting the whole time. But it's not noticeable that you're shooting a movie when they did this.
Yeah,
Almost
let's
like
see.
you could almost call it like half documentary style, but even though it's not a
Yeah,
documentary, but
they actually use like alongside the professional grade cages to hold the cameras of the iPhone. They also use like specialized lenses for the iPhone to make like a little bit like the shots a little bit better, you know, to
bring in more light or whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, I'm not finding anything on Google as far as what it costs to make, but it
didn't
must
find
have
it
not
on
have been that
Google?
much. On the old Google.
Did you find it on Google?
This was on Netflix, right?
Yeah,
That
and
was-
that's the other thing I wanted to talk about
Yeah.
really quick. We'll wrap her up here soon, but I gotta say Netflix, you know, Frankenstein, Left-Handed Girl, Stranger Things season 5, which whatever we'll get into, but like, you guys are doing good. For those of you watching that Netflix right now, if you want to, by the way, I have a couple screenplays. Anyway, and obviously I'm sure we've all heard the news by now that they are buying
$3,000.
Warner Brothers.
The studio.
They're buying Warner Brothers Studio, which obviously owns HBO Max and the entire Warner Brothers library. So I just hope you guys do the right thing and don't screw it up. And by not screwing it up, I mean just let HBO be HBO and don't put your fingers in the pot. But knowing you guys probably will, but whatever. Better than Paramount.
Yeah,
we don't want
definitely.
Paramount to own it.
No,
'cause-
please don't buy Paramount.
not
No,
Paramount.
please don't.
But thank you, Netflix, for recognizing this movie because, my goodness, it was a fucking great movie. So that's all I had to say.
I think because of that, I'm gonna buy some Netflix stock.
Yeah.
$20 worth on Robinhood.
Send an email to Ted Sarandos and be like, "Yay,
How much is Netflix stock now? I wonder.
I think it's a few $100.
Yeah,
it
something.
must be." Yeah.
Dude,
I mean,
$3,000 to shoot this film? That's crazy.
That's crazy. $3,000. That's
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah.
I have like a lot of mixed feelings about Netflix though, just because
So
like
do I. Yeah, because he already said that they're going to shorten theatrical release windows. That does upset me, but I don't know. We'll see how it shapes out, right? Maybe.
well, I mean,
Whoa.
and see that's the thing about like why the resurgence of independent films is so important right now.
Yeah,
like,
and
there's, like,
physical of that.
and physical media, because I actually saw a thing on Instagram recently. It was like I think I reposted it on Instagram, but it was basically talking about like this is the revolution for
Yeah.
the new Hollywood revolution.
Yeah.
When there's resistance, there's
Yeah.
revolution.
Yeah.
And like when people aren't giving you what you want, the people who want to do things, they're gonna find ways to get it done. And
Yeah.
like you think about the film that I can't remember the film that the guy gave it as an example of. He's like the guy who made this film. He like basically self-distributed it. He found a way to like find distribution through different channels. And it's like basically every dime that he makes, he didn't sign on to any sort of distribution company. He like, because a lot of them will like pay up front and then you don't get anything else. Like
Right.
maybe you might get some residuals, but this guy, I guess the film that he makes, he's getting like a lot of money, and this is actually going to be his retirement plan because of like this movie. The movie that he made has already made like $1 million.
What movie is that? Do we know?
I'll have to like.
I'll look it up. We'll have
yeah.
Yeah. And really quick, look, Teddy baby, if you're listening to this, be on the show. Let's get your side of the story. We'll talk about it. You know, Teddy Sarandos. I know you're gonna meet with Christopher Nolan soon. Bring him on the show. We'll talk about it on the Never Seen It podcast. Why not? So.
And
But no.
just for the record, Netflix stock, I thought I was at a few $100. It's actually under 100. It's 96.77. So
Shit,
I don't
I'll
know.
buy some stock.
It might
Now's the
be
time.
a steal. And
might
according
be
to
a
some analysts, it says
Some analysts.
according to some analysts, it's Morningstar rating. It's got a 2 out of 5 stars currently.
As of this recording. Yeah.
The uncertainty. It says high uncertainty.
Really?
So,
Wow.
and maybe because of everything that's going on. But
Maybe, yeah.
I think there's just a lot
they're
of
not-
lack of confidence in Netflix itself, not on Warner Brothers.
They've got to prove.
think
They got
you're
to
right.
prove the world wrong. I'm gonna buy
Well,
them.
stop going 2 or 3 years between seasons of freaking TV shows because your cast that were little children in the first season are now fucking full-grown adults. Like, what are you doing, Dad? What are you doing, Teddy? What are you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion. But anyway, that's Left-Handed Girl. You can watch it. It's on Netflix right now. Highly recommended, I think, from all of us. But yeah, do we want to do final thoughts? Go around the room. How we feeling about that?
do it.
Let's do it. Donnie, I'll start with you first. What are your final thoughts on Left-Handed Girl?
Yeah, I love this movie. I like it when I go into a movie not knowing what it's about or anything about it, and then it turns out to be like a gem. So I'm glad this is recommended or to watch, and yeah, it didn't disappoint. For me, I loved the care that they took into like preparing the film and the background. They really did do observations like of people like walking around. They traveled to these places and studied it and made sure that it was going to be accurate once filmed. That the observation of human behavior, the interaction caught on film, the use of natural light in the night markets, and just being able to be creative with how they shoot it so they can execute properly. I loved all of it. The pacing was good. I thought it was better pacing than Takeout when I compared the two. But I liked it. I didn't think it was slow. I kept the movie fluid, and there's a lot of generational trauma unpacked throughout the whole film. And I thought that was all very accurate as well. So I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5. I would definitely watch it again. I would recommend it to anybody who hasn't watched it. It's a good movie. You can find me on all the social medias _Donnie Appleseed.
Nice. Thanks, Donnie, for that.
Yep.
Alex, what are your final thoughts?
I loved watching this film, and I was kind of concerned about like if the rewatch would take away from the magic of like being at the film festival and knowing that the director. Well, actually, we didn't know the director was going to show up. It was kind of a last minute thing. They kind of it wasn't even on the schedule. They announced it like right before they screened the film. It was like as they were introducing the film, like, and the director is on her way to San Diego so we could have a little Q&A. And I was like, what? Everybody's just kind of like, and the cool thing about that screening too, and why I felt so hyped up was that the fact that it was oversold. The theater that they had to watch Left-Handed Girl was oversold. So like there were people standing in line to watch the film, but then there were ticketed people. Like there were people who had the pass, right? The All Fest pass, and people like me with media who basically had All Fest access. I thought we were going to let in second, and they were going to let the people who purchased tickets in first, right? That's what I thought was going to be. But no, they let the All Fest pass holders in and the media first, and then they let the ticket holders. And when I saw the line for this film, I was like, they're not going to be able to fit everybody in here. And what we found out, there was like an overflow theater, which was really cool. They did that. They had an overflow theater, so they screened it at the same time.
That's awesome.
But I feel bad for the ticket holders because the people who got into the first theater, this is the theater that got to see the Q&A. But there were people who left during the Q&A, and so some of those ticket holders went into the theater and they took those seats. And I think there were some people standing in the back watching the Q&A as well.
Wow.
But still, it was for me, like I thought watching it again would take away from, like, I'd get a lesser feeling, but no, it was like exact same feeling, same emotions. I loved watching it again. Even with like knowing what happened, it was like it still is like the way they build it up and the way you don't know. And then I was able to see like little Easter eggs, like the whole thing where they were talking about how in the motel party, right? I brought that up, like how like she disappeared and he didn't know, her classmates didn't know why she disappeared, and it was obviously because she had Shih-Ching. And then later on, you hear like right before like the shit truly hits the fan at the party, you hear the mom say, "I didn't catch this when I watched it in theaters, but catching it the second screening, you hear her say, "Not again! You're doing. I thought we were past this, or
Right.
It's like, what? What does she mean?"
Yeah.
But knowing now what she meant by that, I was like, oh, that's so crazy. She it was like foreshadowing right there. So it was just like, I really love this film. There was something that I wrote like that I thought about and everything, and it was kind of like after the film and watching like the results of what happened, them going to the very ending when they're at the food stall and everything. I wrote, living your truth, living authentically is inconvenient. Love can be inconvenient. But happiness cannot exist without truth and authenticity. Acknowledgement of the existence of happiness is also the awareness of all the other emotions, just like darkness cannot exist without the light. And so it's kind of like, I wrote that about the ending, She had that weight lifted from her shoulders after revealing to the grandmother that I am Yijing's mother, not my mom. And while it was like a painful thing to reveal and everything like that, that cross is not the grandmother's burden to bear. It's not the mom's burden to bear. It's Ian. It's her burden to bear. And now that she's freed from that burden, she gets to be her mom. She gets to be Yijing's mom, who's this beautiful, wonderful, smart girl who you see how happy she is when she actually gets to be the mom, you see like how she treats Yijing when she's able to teach her things, and it's not out of resentment for her mom anymore. It's teaching her things because she cares about Yijing, and she wants to be a mom. So for me, I really really love this film. I gave it a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd, and you can find me on all the socials, Daily Dares. My latest pickup, my last Criterion pickup from the sale, I got Train Spotting Criterion
love
edition.
That movie.
Heck yeah, good movie.
Yeah, it was $18.
That movie, great movie.
It was $18 as opposed to paying $40. So I was like, I couldn't pass this up.
We should probably do that one someday.
Yeah, we should actually. That's a good movie.
Train Spotting is so good. I love that.
Yeah, I never really seen it. I only seen certain parts.
Really?
Well, we gotta watch it now.
Gotta watch
No
it.
spoilers, because there's some shit in that movie, Arnold.
Yeah.
Blow your
And the
socks
part
off.
Literally.
The part that I remember is that part. That's all I know.
Getting
I
your
just
socks
remember
blown
thinking
off. Yeah.
We should get Chris.
That scene still grosses me out.
yeah.
Christina got me introduced me to that movie. We should get her on the show for that episode.
That'd be good.
That would be some good conversation. I mean,
Yeah,
I feel like she's fun to talk to.
Well, thank you for that, Alex. Well spoken. Good stuff. And Arnold, let's go to you next, my friend. What are your final thoughts?
I was, leading up to this, I was trying to think man, okay, where am I going to go with this? What do I say? Gosh, because now that, as we were talking about this on the show, just all the things that, the little Easter eggs that now when you especially if you watched it twice, or now that I remember some of those parts, but I didn't think anything of it, like the not this again, but then I also was thinking about towards the beginning when Ian would tell her mom oh, I'm gonna do this work and I'm gonna make more money than you, and I just remember thinking the daughter that's wanting to try to make more money than her mom, but then it hits differently now that I think about it. She's also a mom telling her mom, because she would also be helping out. At that time, I was thinking she's gonna help out the family. Yijing is her daughter, and it just as we were talking about this, I'm like, man, it's all hitting differently. And I came into this thinking man, this was a really good movie, and it's not exactly my type of movie, something that I would if I'm gonna looking for a certain type of movie, I want this type of vibe. I don't know. Sometimes I think of movies like that, something when I want to be entertained. I'm feeling a little comedy mood. I'm feeling more like an action sort of mood. This is not something that I would normally pick, but I thought that it was a really good movie. And in my mind, I was okay, that's a good, solid 3.5. But I'm just thinking about like all the little things that if I were to have seen it twice, and in a way I sort of did, because we're talking about this and I still kind of remember all those little Easter eggs. I'm like, man, no, this is deserving of that little extra half star, a little extra little bump, maybe a little bump it up, a little you know, or maybe not that big of a, maybe like a full on spoon of a bump.
Right.
Not a big bump, maybe a big trump. I mean,
yeah, you'll love Train Spotting.
So I really do. I really enjoyed this movie. Far from what I thought, you know, just based on the title, Left Hand Girl. Which that little girl, she's just so cute, and in certain ways, it kind of reminded me of my niece.
Yeah, she was 6, by the way. I read it, so she was 6 playing a 5-year-old.
Aw.
So she was even younger. I thought she was like 8 or 10 or something, but. That's
I love
great.
the, like, you know, just how they're like working class people, like it's like they're I like that. It was I don't know how to put it into words, but I like the,
It was relatable.
yes. There was one I don't know if you wanted me to give a Z rating or anything, but like there was one little mistake that I made before watching the movie.
Arnold,
So
favorite part of the show. You know you love it. You know I love it. What is the Arnold snooze meter?
So I ended up watching this probably around like 9:30 in the evening after
Did you have
dinner.
ice cream or beer? Ice cream and beer.
So I kept it light. I had a nice Caesar salad, but it was with a homemade Caesar dressing. I was a little inspired from my brother Donnie. On Thanksgiving, he made a Caesar dressing. I was like, man, this is really good. So I didn't really get the recipe from him. He kind of told me, and I just kind of went with it. I'm like, man, this is so much better than buying store-bought. So anyways, it was good and healthy, nice and light. And then I had to have
bacon.
Oh yeah. I added I just chopped bacon in it. And so we had our Christmas party, my work Christmas party last Thursday, and then I had a bottle. They gave me a bottle of Chardonnay it was open, so they were just giving it to people, and I was like, why not? It's open. All right. So
wine, not.
Yeah, no beer, no Paloma this time or anything. It was a glass of sea smoke Chardonnay, and
wow,
I do have to say I got a little bit of the sleepies, about midway, but I know it had to have been because of the alcohol and the ice cream. I had a little bit of ice cream.
Ew, gross.
Rocky Road.
Haagen-Dazs, chocolate almond. Huh?
When you go to bed, Arnold, does Carlos say, Arnold, you be Haagen-Dazs blankets?
I bet it was chocolate almond
Be hogging them all.
from that ass cream.
I love ice cream,
Chocolate
man.
almond, chocolate almonds coming out of that ass cream.
Yeah.
Chocolate almond, vanilla. Oh, so good.
What's the ultimate Z rating, Arnold? What would you say?
So, half Z, because I started to get. There were some moments where I was kind of like watching it, and then the way it happens is I'm kind of like relaxed, and then I'm like, this feels so nice, and then I'll close my eyes, and then I'm like, no, I can't. But then I know that it was just like maybe like 30 seconds that so there was like maybe a good 5-minute chunk here, 5-minute chunk there, where I was like, okay, I'm fighting it. I had to rewind it like several times. So the movie, I think it was like an hour and 40 something minutes long.
Yeah.
It took me like 2 hours and a little over 2 hours to watch.
It's not bad.
So yeah.
Well, thanks for that, Arnold. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Where can people find? Well, hold on. Where can people find you, Arnold? Where can people find?
Thank you for the reminder about that. BOOTZ too big. Y'all can find me at Arnie Collego everywhere on the socials. So holla at your boy on there, Arnie Collego.
For sure.
So B-dubs.
I don't know why it's funny. You say it all the time.
What are your final thoughts?
So I didn't have time to write my letterbox review because I just barely watched this tonight, and I had a lot going on today. Raw thoughts right off the bat. I love the relatability of this. As I mentioned earlier, the family drama dynamics, the interpersonal. You know, you hear about work politics, there's family politics. Don't get it twisted. Like, there's always politics in families too. I felt that, related to that so much, that aspect of it. The working class struggle aspect, you know, we've talked about this with Takeout, we've talked about this with Didi, I believe. We've talked about this with so many movies. That was very relatable. I appreciate that Shih-Ching Tsou and Sean Baker, in their own, you know, all their movies, there's this running theme of like the struggle, you know, because I think the majority of people can relate to that, right? It's nice to watch big mainstream movies like Marvel stuff or whatever, you know, but sometimes you need to have that good slice of life, that good grounded drama. I think this movie had that in spades. You know, I think that you can really see how much better of a storyteller she's gone, Shih-Ching Tsou, from Takeout to this, you know, leaps and bounds. You know what I mean? So really appreciate that. Really appreciate what you can do with a fucking iPhone. Like I said, like I can't emphasize that enough. Like it looks amazing. The story that goes with it is amazing. The acting of all these people was brilliant. So, you know, I'm going to give this my Letterboxd score 4 stars out of 5. So, Left-Handed Girl, that's what I'm rating it. And you can find me on Letterboxd at Boots Too Big. You can find the show, my voice cracked there. I'm like going through puberty again. You can find the show everywhere else. Never Seen a Podcast. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on Blue Sky. We're on X. We're on YouTube. We're everywhere, guys. And by the way, neverseenapodcast.com. You know, we have everything on there. Everything lives on there. We have our link tree if you follow us on TikTok. Email us, podcast.neverseenit@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Have you watched Left-Handed Girl? Have you watched any good Netflix movie lately? Let us know. I watched Frankenstein the other day. Brilliant. Well, I'm sure we'll probably do an episode about that. Subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts from. If you like the show, share it, leave us a review, leave us a comment. Even if, you know, we'll read your comments aloud. Believe me, we will. A big thanks to Mr. Kyle Mapson of Burn Cycle for our intro and outro music. You can follow Kyle on Instagram at selfies_food_and_pets. Thank you for listening. Any final thoughts from the gentleman?
Let's not forget to give thanks to the San Diego Asian Film Festival once again for allowing us to be a part of the festival, to have access to their films, and being able to like document this wonderful, you know, even letting us just, although it's on Netflix now and like we watched it without like any sort of special access, me being able to go there like and vouching, being able to go see Shih-Ching Tsou in person, and also being able to vouch for this movie as a good film to watch for the show. That's something that wouldn't have happened without the San Diego Asian Film Festival. So thank you so much. We really appreciate you guys.
We appreciate that.
Thank you
for early access to Rosemead and just showcasing this movie in general. You know, it's on Netflix, so go watch it. Highly recommended. But yeah, actually really quick before we go, I want to plug my other podcast that I always mean to plug, but I always forget. Book Brothers Podcast. I talk about books. I just finished reading American Psycho. Amazing. So check that out. Book Brothers on YouTube and Spotify. And that's the show. Any final thoughts now from the gentleman? Anything you want to say, Arnold? I feel like you were itching to say something.
No, it was just stretching the hips. You know.
Oh, nice. Yes, thank you for that.
Final thoughts. Anybody?
Where the hell's Justin? No, I'm just kidding.
I know.
No, that's good.
I wasn't.
Dude, that food looked good in there.
In the movie?
Yeah, in the movie. Yeah.
I wanted some good ramen now.